Hey, you. It's been a while. So, I was just sitting here in the parking lot between my kickboxing class and the free dog and cat food distribution that I'm doing a little later tonight to help pet owners with free pet food. And I thought about the dandelions that I saw earlier that made me think of you. And I wanted to come tell you a story about the dandelions and the worst job that I ever worked. And shockingly enough, if you got my email earlier today, you might have thought that that job that I told you about in my email, I'm still sort of cringing that I put that out there because I'm smiling, but it's embarrassing. It's a little bit embarrassing talking about that one job. But the thing is that you might think that that job that I mentioned in my email earlier today was the worst job I ever had. And it wasn't. And the dandelions that I saw earlier made me think of the fact that I wanted to share that I wanted to share this story with you. So I was walking around I'm trying to switch the camera. I was walking around my kickboxing parking lot and I was trying to find a dandelion to show you. And I couldn't find a dandelion to show you, but look at these crazy little mushrooms. Like, it's been really rainy, and hang on, that wasn't even the one I wanted to show you. This is the one that I wanted to show you. Look, you guys, look at this crazy little mushroom. So there are no dandelions here, but there are a copious amount of really crazy mushrooms. And we're just going to have to say hello to them instead of the dandelions. I was actually just like, oh, you're so cute. Oh my gosh, there's a tiny one here. Anyway, I want to tell you about the dandelions. Many years ago, I was waitressing like 6, 7 nights a week. This is before Bella, BB. And I was working my ass off and I was really in debt. And let's just switch it back. And I had all this education working in jails and prisons. And I really wanted to work with that population again. But I had a restaurant job. And the restaurant job was enough to sort of like pay my bills, but I just wasn't like, when you're like only making just enough to live, and I wasn't making enough to really pay off my debt. And so I took this job that I thought was going to be absolutely amazing. Like, it blew my mind when I found it. It was working for Supreme Court in New York City, working with folks, young adults who were coming through the drug court and kind of helping them get their feet back under them. Like, doesn't that sound freaking amazing? Like, yeah, why would we jail them? Why wouldn't we just work with them to like get their lives working better? Thought it was freaking amazing. I was so excited. I should have known from the fact that I had to wear a suit. I've never, ever had to wear a suit for work, ever. That should have been my red flag, my first red flag. But bottom line is, the job wasn't anything like I thought it would be. It was a heinously toxic work environment. I hated my boss. She would do things like take ideas that I had told her, tell me that they wouldn't work, and then go present them to the judge and take like all the credit for them because only she really had access to the judge. She hated me. I hated her. I had to wear a fucking suit and like heels. Y'all know, like, I live in motorcycle boots and sneakers and flip flops. And I did back then too. And I was in a court. I was in Supreme Court all day long with kids who were like really getting fucked by the system. We weren't there to help them at all. I mean, I know like you and I are like, of course we weren't there to help them. It was like the court system. But I actually thought I was going to be there to help them. And I'm working with this woman who hates me, who I hate, and I'm working 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and then 5 nights a week, I'm then going into the city and working all night waitressing and bartending. And it was just fucking horrible. And I decided that I would stay there for 1 year. And at the end of the year, and I would just like put all of that money towards my debt. And at the end of the year, I would quit. So a year came and went. I paid down most of my debt. I just like put my nose to the grindstone, paid down most of the debt. And at that point, they sound so weird, but you know what? Maybe you won't think it's weird because you're probably a little bit like me. But my only friends, and it chokes me up to say this, but my only friends at that point were on the way from the subway station to the courthouse, there was this like beautiful lawn in front of the courthouse with like these gorgeous old trees. And the lawn was full of dandelions. And I love those dandelions. And every morning, early in the morning, they were just sort of opening up their eyes. And like, you know how dandelions close at night? Did you know that? Like, dandelions close at night, and if it's like gray and cold and rainy, and then they open up for the sun. And they turn their little faces to the sun and they smile. And every day I looked forward to seeing those dandelions. And when I got off the subway walking to work, I would say good morning, and I would be, I would thank them for being there, and I'd tell them I hope they had a good day. And then at lunch I'd come out and I'd say hello to them. And then in the evening when I was walking back to the subway to go to my next job, they were just sort of starting to like turn their little faces away from the sun. And I would say good night, thank you for being there. And like, you guys, like, those dandelions were my friends. They were my only friends that year there. And one day, I'm not going to cry. I promise, I'm not going to cry. One day, I got up out of the subway, and I remember it was a particularly shitty day. And I was just like, I can't fucking believe I have to be here in this toxic environment all day. And I walked up the steps of the subway station, and I got out into the air, and I automatically went and looked for the dandelions. And they had mowed the lawn. And they had mowed the lawn so short that all of the dandelions were gone. All of their happy little yellow faces were gone. They had been massacred. And I walked into that fucking place and I said, I quit. I quit. I'm not doing it anymore. And that was my last day. I didn't even give 2 weeks notice. And it broke my heart. And to this day, dandelions are one of my absolute favorite flowers ever, because they're just so like, they're such sentient beings. Like, the fact that they stay closed until the sun is up, fucking, I respect that. I respect that. They're like, we're not coming out if the sun isn't out. So I was thinking about that today, and I was thinking about telling you that story in part because I love dandelions. I wanted to share it with you. And I saw some really beautiful ones that aren't here. They've been replaced here by mushrooms. But also because it's like, it's so freaking important that we spend our day doing something that we love. And it's so freaking important that we spend our day supported and feeling like seen and heard by more than like the flowers and the lawn. And I just had this like feeling this morning of deep gratitude, like for my clients. I fucking love my clients. Like, I love them so much, and the work that they're doing is so amazing, and I'm so lucky to get to support them. And I have this gratitude for like my family, and for the fact that like I get to spend my evening giving away free dog and cat food to people who are really stressing out about feeding their pets. And then I get to go like punch a bag for an hour in my kickboxing class, which by the way is run by a woman who opened an all women's kickboxing place. So fucking cool. Like, I was talking about this with my daughter this morning. We were talking about something cool that happened, and she was like, oh, there are really good people in the world. I forget that. And I was like, girlfriend, you can't forget that. Like, you have to focus on the good things. And if there aren't enough, you have to fucking rebuild your life so that they are enough. Yeah, me in a suit, Jen. You have to fucking rebuild your life so that it's based upon joy that is more than just the dandelions in the yard every morning. So thank you so much for watching. I see people going into the kickboxing class, and I have a favorite spot that I like. So I'm going to go steal my favorite spot. But thank you for saying hello to the mushrooms with me. Thank you for sad facing my dandelion story. I know that you get it. I really know that you get it, and I love that. And just have a fucking fantastic day, please. You deserve it.